Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to be starting our Pokemon Heart Gold series today. So this is going to be part of our TypeLocke series, which basically, for those who don't know, I did Pokemon Fire Red, and we're going to be starting on Heart Gold. I'm planning to go through all of the gens, just like I do in chronological order with most games, but I just don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. We're going to get straight into it, do the intro, name a character and all that stuff, and then I'll quickly explain while we're on the way to the professor's lab in order to get our first Pokemon how TypeLocke works, just for those who may not know. But I'm pretty sure anyone who's actually watching these videos would probably be seeking out TypeLockes or Nuzlockes. Now this technically is my official second time, really not even just official, like unofficial too, just my second time playing a TypeLocke. Like my Fire Red Let's Play was my very first time. I got very lucky with poison types because there are plenty of poison types throughout most of the games, where this may be a bit different because now we have Dark and Steel. We don't have fairy types until Gen 6, I think. Yeah, Gen 6. But we also have Dark and Steel, and there's also Dragon and Fire types, which are not really plentiful throughout the game, so we have to be a bit lucky to get a better typing. Alright, so we're going to name our character. I went for a female. We're going to go for Wombat, which is what I usually name my characters unless I'm doing like an RPG. And we're just going to say, yep, that's what we want. Now, Professor Oak is going to send us on our way to meet Professor Elm, so that way we can get our first Pokemon. Alright, so quickly explain how a TypeLocke works, and just like a Nuzlocke in general. Basically, we name all the Pokemon we catch. We catch the first Pokemon in each route. Obviously, with the TypeLocke, you can only catch Pokemon of the typing that you have. Again, we don't have our typing. We're going to randomize it very soon once we get to the lab. But any Pokemon that has that typing, we can catch. I also have a clause which allows for evolutionary line typings too. So if you get a Pokemon, say, like Torterra, it starts off with a grass and evolves into Grotle, which is a grass type, and then evolves into Torterra, which is a ground grass type. So if it potentially has that typing in which you have, say like grounding is your team typing, then you can add that to the team and use it and evolve it to have that ground typing. Like, I do add that simply because it makes it a little bit more easier to catch Pokemon that potentially have that typing, instead of really only be allowed to catch that specific Pokemon. It basically locks us into having only a certain amount of Pokemon already with a TypeLocke, but then it kind of narrows it down even more if we don't have that clause. I also have Shiny Clause, which allows for Pokemon that are shiny of that typing. The rule is, if I do get a Pokemon on a route and then later get a Pokemon on that same route that has a shiny typing that is the type of the element we are using, then I'm basically just going to remove the Pokemon that I caught, which typically I write down in a book, and then use that shiny instead, if I want to. Like, sometimes the shiny isn't as good as the normal typing, but that's just the basic rules of how I play my TypeLocke. Oh, also, if Pokemon faints, we no longer use them. We either put them in the box or we toss them. I do have an overlay for the Pokemon team and badges. It's quick and simple, something I just made in, I think it was like 10 minutes or so. So it's probably not the best as, you know, most streamers or Let's Players, but I'm still new, guys. Just give me a chance. I'll figure something out. I think it's pretty simple and it's pretty like easy to read. Overall, I wanted like the game itself to be the main focus, and I didn't want like the Pokemon team or badges to really overshadow the gameplay itself. I want it to be pretty simple. Also, I wanted to try, it's not a rule, but I want to try and keep the levels around the same as the next gym that I'm going to. So I don't want to overlevel too much, but it's not a biggie if like it does happen. Sometimes it does happen, and you know, I don't want to be like, oh, now I can't use my starter because of it being too overleveled. But we're going to quickly save here, and then we're going to jump over to spinthewheel.com, which is the randomizer, which I'm going to allow to pick our typing. We just can't use poison types because that was my previous Gen 1 typing, and after that we won't be able to use whatever we get in the next spin the wheel for Gen 3. But we are saved, and we are skipping over to the website right now. Alright guys, we're at spinthewheel.com. Basically, we have our wheel here with all the toppings except for the two I mentioned before, which are Fairy and Poison. We're going to give it a quick spin, but I just want to talk about the ones that I'm hoping for, which is probably like Bug, maybe... I wouldn't mind fighting, Flying, Normal, go for Rock types, go for Grass. I don't want Fire because it's still pretty rare. Dark's pretty rare. Psychic could be pretty decent, honestly. Water type would be really useful. Bug type I wouldn't mind either. But I'm hoping as long as it's not like Dragon, Steel, or Ghost, I think we'll be pretty much good. But watch this. I'm going to spin it, and it's going to be like Dragon types right now. I bet you that's what it's probably going to be. Oh, Bug types. Hell yeah. I'd go with Bugs. I love Bug type Pokemon. Alright, Bug types it is. That's what we're going to be using for our TypeLocke. Now, we don't have any Pokemon that are obviously going to evolve into Bug types with our starters, so I get to choose my random typing like I did last time. Oh, no, I didn't. I actually choose Bulbasaur because that's poison, so I actually get a choice this time. Which, I feel like people are going to mock me for my choice. Alright guys, we are back. So, just a quick heads up. I haven't decided what Pokemon I want to use since we don't technically have a typing for it. I mean, Bug types don't really come in. I don't think there are any Bug... Yeah, no, there's no Bug type starters. That would be pretty bad, honestly. But we're going to start off with a Chikorita. Yes, I know most people are going to probably meme on me for that, but I love Chikorita. I love grass types in general. That's just always been my thing. I personally think the only exceptions are to Pig, because that's the only fire type that I really like. And probably Mudkip, because, like, it's an axolotl. Who doesn't love axolotls? Also, the typing for Gen 3 is just amazing when it comes to Swampert. Not only does it negate the grass, not the grass, the weakness, it negates electric weakness. It does also give us 4 times weakness to grass, which is a bit bad, but overall, there's only like one particular trainer that's dangerous. But we're going to give you a nickname. What are we going to name you? Ooh, we haven't really got a name for you. What are we gonna name you, mate? I've never been good at names. And you're also a boy. Ah, screw it, we'll just name you Leaf. I know, very creative name. I probably had a bunch of female names, but had no male names for it. I was hoping for a female, obviously because of Whitney. Whitney's got her annoying attractability, but this little guy here can get Reflect, which can half the attack, which is very useful, especially for rollout. Alright, so we're going to get some potions. I think he's going to give us 5 potions. We have to talk to Mum, which is going to give us Pokegear because it's been fixed. And then we get the running shoes from the old man. That's less of a statement, more of a question. I'm pretty sure we get the running shoes for the old man, and then afterwards we go to Route 30, I think it is, for Mr. Pokemon's house, which gives us the egg, which is a Togepi, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Togepi that evolves into Togetic, but then Togekiss doesn't come out till Gen 4. But we're going to make our way to Mum's house. She's going to give us the item we need. Oi. Give me my Pokemon radio, or whatever it is. It's Pokemon Gear, isn't it? Yep, Pokegear. After that, we have to make it to Mr. It's not Apricot, it's Apricorns, because that's what Pokeballs are made of, apparently. Alright, just power it on, da-da-da. Names will automatically register. That way we can get, you know, Joey talking about his goddamn retarder 50 times over. Now that we have that, we can make our way to the next little town. We'll get a little, tutorial rundown from the old man who will give us the running shoes. He's going to tell us about the Pokemart, the, Poke Center, the ocean, and Route 30, I think it is. Dun dun. You can see the rival in the background. I think overall, generally, he is one of the few characters that are rivals that are actually bad characters. Because, like, Gen 1 obviously is like Blue or Gary, depending on, you know, the game or the animation, like the anime. And it's like, I know he's a bit of a jackass, but I mean, overall, he's not that bad. It's very egotistical, where you have this guy actually steals Pokemon and I wouldn't say he really subjugates them, but he doesn't treat them very well. And then Gen 3 is sort of like Wally, which is more of a rival. Isn't there another person? I feel like there's a second rival in Gen 3. It's been ages since I played any Gen 3 game. Then obviously Gen 4 is like Barry. Alright, we'll go for the couple tackles, take out the Rattata and the Pidgey. We can also get a Sentry here, which obviously bug typing, so I'm assuming that probably the first time's either going to be like Beedrill. I'd assume Beedrill or Caterpie would be like our first catch. Please do not give us a crit. That's the only thing we don't need right now. But we don't want to die to a crit. I only just started the bloody game. How awkward would that be if I died and then had to restart and then I got bug types again? I think up this way we can get a potion. Let's just hope we don't run into Pokemon, because that's going to... Oh, also, I totally forgot. I am playing on set mode, which is something that I don't usually do. We'll keep battle scenes on. I usually turn them off just to go a little bit faster because I am impatient. But we are going to use set mode, which is... Normally I just leave it on Switch, but I wanted to try and make it an effort of actually playing on set mode. Or at least trying to play on set mode. Just that little bit of extra added difficulty. We don't have any Pokeballs, right? Because I haven't been killing things that I could be using. I run a potion. Probably should have done that beforehand, but it's not... it's fine. Go for Razor Leaf. Gonna use Foresight. It's gonna identify Chikorita. And that's down. Oh, there's a crit. Hopefully we don't get too many of those. Now, we don't have any Trade Evolution bug types, do we? No. So that's fine. We do technically get an egg Pokemon, but I think it's like a Tyrogue usually. So, I probably won't use it, even if it is a gift. Like, unless... I'll add the rule of if it is a gift Pokemon and there is no Pokemon that I could use on that route that happen to be bug types, I will use it, like the starter. But that is the only exception. We can technically get on the island. We can also get a Shuckle, right? Oh, cool. I wouldn't mind adding a Shuckle to the team. I think that'd be pretty cool. It really comes down to the fact that a lot of Pokemon are locked out on the routes because they want to give you variation, and you typically, as you go further, you get stronger Pokemon which deviate from like rock types, and I guess poison types are kind of middle class. You get a couple more fire types and stuff like that, but for the most part, like bug types and rock types usually aren't near the very end, except for like Victory Road. But obviously, the more we deviate from going to the earlier routes and go to the further routes during the later in the game, I'm going to be less likely to get bug types. So we're going to have to be very sparing and try not to die. or kill off as many Pokemon as we can, because that's going to be very bad for us. There's also the added factor that I haven't done a randomizer, except for Pokemon Red, and it's not as fun, honestly. Like, as much as I would like to do randomizers, there is the added nuance of, like, experience gain. Like, Pokemon that evolve with evolution stones, they don't usually learn very good moves and stuff like that until later in the game, if not at all, because some gens, after they evolve, they don't get any good moves at all. There's also, you get less experience from evolutions, stone evolutions. You also have to worry about more experience gain and stronger Pokemon in the randomizers. Also, like, catch rates going down too. Like, you can fix that all in the modding tool, but it just makes it a little bit unfair, especially if you verse a lot of stronger Pokemon at the beginning of the game, because you just overlevel so quickly, which makes the game less fun, just overall. Like, sure, cool, it's awesome to run around with overpowered Pokemon, but, like, by the time you really get to, I think I'm up to, like, the 6th, the 7th gym now in Pokemon Red, I'm just, like, really bored, because it's like, okay, like, I know how the battle's gonna end anyway. Even with a fully randomized team, it doesn't matter what it is, because I'm 10 to 12 levels with pretty much every Pokemon over. Especially when you get in there and you start off and it's like, oh, okay, his ace is a Magikarp. Or a Pokemon that happens to be really strong, but doesn't have an attacking move. Which, honestly, kind of funny. Like, knowing that, like, someone having an ace Pokemon of, like, a Dragon Arrow, Dragonite, and the only move is, like, agility. That is funny. It is, don't get me wrong, I see the humor in that, but at the same time, you do want a little bit of challenge. Alright, we got the running shoes now, which is awesome. We can stop by, heal up, probably save, and then move on to Route 30. I'm pretty sure it is. Now, I'll probably leave it marked off because I do want to be able to walk, because some areas would be a good idea to walk, because the more you run, the higher likelihood of spawning Pokemon in to attack you. So, best to walk in some areas, especially when you're low level and you don't have a lot of health and you don't have many Pokemon at all. Alright, gonna run up this way. Can we actually get Pokemon balls in here? I know we get 5 from our friend. No, we can't. But I am going to get a couple of antidotes and paralysis heals, just in case that happens to our Pokemon, because if we get poisoned, that is going to be very bad. But we can make it to Professor Oak's house, to the Mr. Pokemon's house, so we can get the egg. Oh, he also gives us the map card too, that's very useful. And we'll have to go get the radio too, because if I do want to make it to, I'm pretty sure we'll get a red if we want to. That's like post-game, and technically after the Nuzlocke is finished, or the TypeLocke is finished, we can go do that, but... Ooh, Caterpie. Now, we don't have any Pokeballs just yet to catch you, so we'll have to come back for you, mate. As I was saying, if we want to go to red, that's post-game, so after we complete the Elite Four, that's technically the end, but we can continue on. Probably not using the Nuzlocke rules, but we could just have a little fun battle at the end. Plus, I don't know how it's going to be having a full team of Bug-type Pokemon. Oh, well, besides our starter. And be like, alright, I'm going to verse all of your strong Pokemon with, you know, 6 different bug types. I think we may get murdered. Oh, nice crit. Going for a tackle. That's fine. It's only going to be... Oh, okay, that was a crit. That was a crit too. You only did 3 damage, mate. Pick up the Pokeball. Nope, it's a potion. That's fine. You a trainer. No, you're not. Now we can go to get the apricot box. No, not apricot, apricorn box. I'm going to call them apricots because that's just where my mind wanders to. But the apricorns. And they're going to allow us to make Pokeballs, which we have to give to him. And I think we have to wait a day or whatever. And then we come back and get one. I will collect this one here. And just pops off. Now we make our way over to the house. Alright, so it looks like we might get a guaranteed Caterpie. Which, I don't mind Butterfree. I think Butterfree is pretty cool. We can also get Beautiful, I don't. Oh, yeah. No. Is that Gen 3? I think it might be Gen 2. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember which one's Wurmple. Is it Gen 2 or 3? Ow. Whatever which one it is, we might get it in Gen 2. During the episodes, I will definitely check out what roots and toppings Pokemon have, and that way which ones we can get. Made it a little bit easier on myself. We'll have to get past Joey to the right here, because he's battling someone right now. We can get a Metapod, which is probably useless because these guys don't have an attack. Or at least they don't in Gen 1. They may have attack in Gen 2. Like, they can learn Tackle if they were a Caterpie, but after they evolve, they don't. It's just weird. Like, they can keep their tackle ability if they evolve, but if you catch them in the wild, they just don't. They do offer some pretty good experience, though, usually around 100 or so. Which, early game, that is very useful. Now, could we go for Razor Leaf, see if we can do a little bit of extra damage? Oof, nothing at all. I know that it was going to be not very effective, but you would think it'd do a little bit more damage. Alright, let's go for the tackle. We got the crit, awesome. That's going to be level 8. Oh, it's only 41 experience. I mean, it's still better than everything else so far. Go to Pidgey, level 2. This should be pretty easy. It's not going to have Gust. It's only going to have, like, Tackle. I don't even think it'll have, like, Peck. That's more of a Spearow thing. And another Apricorn. Pop it off. In the bag it goes. And we can get our egg. It was I who sent an email to the professor. This is what I wanted Professor Elm to examine, the mysterious egg, which I'm pretty sure is a Togepi, which is completely useless to us because we cannot use it. And I mean, we can technically get a Pokemon from Route 30 anyway, so we're going to be using a Caterpie. Ooh, thinking about that. Can any bug-type Pokemon line fly? Because that's going to be awkward if we can't. We'll have to use a TM slave otherwise. Now we have the Pokédex from Professor Oak, which is awesome. Now we just need one more item. Alright, Professor Elm is going to call. Hello, Wombat. It's a distress. It's just terrible. What should I do? Oh no. Please get back in now. Alright, cool. Now we have to go back and save the professor, except the professor is pretty much fine by the time we get back there anyway. But we're going to save it here. I think that's going to be a pretty good place to end. We're going to about the mark I do want to cut it off. And this is going to be the very first episode of our Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke, TypeLocke. Which I mean, bug types, I'm really excited. I love my bug type Pokemon. I was worried that, because it's bound to happen soon, we're going to get a typing that is not very useful. In the gen we have, like we're gonna get like a dragon type next gen or something like that, which I'm terrified for, because that's gonna lock us out pretty much for most of the game until catching really Pokemon. So I'd probably give us the rule of, you know, any choice Pokemon add to the team to use until we get, you know, dragon types. But I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys weren't too bored with the the complaining and stuff I did, but overall I think I had a lot of enjoyment doing the first episode, and I hopefully get to see you guys in the next one too. So, bye-bye.